Hi everyone, how are you doing? Well, this is Ciro. I am Brazilian. I live in São Paulo, and I'd like to talk a little bit about this wave of mass deportations from the United States to other countries, like Brazil, for example. Okay. So first of all, it is important to explain why so many Brazilians are migrating, not only to the United States, but also other countries that they consider better to live in than Brazil. Well, I believe that one of the biggest reasons is undoubtedly the fact that our currency, the real, um, that here in Brazil we call real, okay, is extremely devalued in relation to the dollar. It takes almost 6 reals to buy just $1, which is very discouraging and makes a big difference because on average we Brazilians work a lot and consume very little. And what we consume, for the most part, are always the cheapest products and therefore of low quality. Okay, if you compare it to what the rich people in our country usually buy. So the majority of the population will never have a good house to live in, much less a brand new top of the line car, or the latest iPhone or whatever, I don't know. Any other products that make people's lives easier, okay? And that is a point. And another factor is that here in Brazil, when we buy a simple product, whatever it may be, we pay on average for 3 or 4 products, or sometimes even more, when compared to the same products purchased in other countries. Okay, and this is all because we pay a lot of taxes. Since Brazil is one of the countries with one of the highest tax burdens in the world, we are extremely exploited, okay? And pay abusive interest rates to banks on loans, where we pay up to 100 times more than the amount financed. After all, this country supports countless useless, lazy politicians who often don't even work or fulfill their obligations inherent to their position. And yet they earn a very, very high salary compared to the average Brazilian salary. And of course, we also have serious politicians who fight to improve the country, but they are very rare. The vast majority only enter politics to have a life of luxury with everything paid for with public money and to guarantee the good life of their next generation. And the worst thing is that these politicians are elected and for 4 or more years cause immense delays and enormous harm to people's lives with projects that are absolutely contrary to the interests of the majority of the population. In general, they tend to speak badly of the state, but at the same time, they employ their entire family in public life because deep down they know that the high salary and all the perks associated with that position will be available to all of them. And this often serves as a guarantee that they will be extremists and show their worst sides to the population. So, in general, they are also abject, obtuse people without a shred of respect and consideration for the lives of others, but they pretend very well. And there are also some other professions that confer status and power. For example, of course, not all of them, but some doctors. The guys feel like demigods, and some of them work in public service for the community, and they treat people badly. Yeah. It is not uncommon to see in news reports doctors who go to work, clock in, and go home, but not before guaranteeing the salary paid with the population's taxes. Okay, something that, by the way, some politicians in this country know very well how to do. Another profession with one of, if not the highest salary in the public service in Brazil is the judiciary. Okay, while on one hand a doctor feels like a demigod, a judge on the other is sure that he is. However, it is common to see, and again, of course, not all of them, but some of them, when stopped in a police raid or confronted in some way, immediately flash their badge. And unfortunately, even with high salaries and other benefits inherent to the position, there are still reports of Jews who have been arrested and or are being investigated for corruption and selling sentences, which shows that no matter what position you hold, if you are a bad character, your university degree will not save you from showing who you really are to society. By the way, I don't know about you guys, but I'm very, very disgusted of people who use their knowledge and certificates to humiliate those who could not get where they got, you know? Many times we have incredible and remarkable people with little or no formal education, and on the other hand, useless, grotesque, and truly idiotic people with postdoctorate degrees, and this is a reality. Well, folks, so now I'm going to talk about my field. There is the education. I'm a teacher. I have a degree in language and literature and a postgraduate degree in English language teaching and learning from Faculdade de Cultura Inglesa. And I am also a civil servant in both Portuguese and English disciplines here in São Paulo City. Okay, which is one of the hardest things to do here. First, because it is not a valued profession, and the government doesn't even pay us our full salary as a right that we deserve and that we have achieved by law of the federally mandated teachers minimum salary. In fact, each pays it increase um, as a as a subsidy, okay, which is disappointing. In addition to being a total lack of respect for the teaching profession. Okay, there is no career plan nor significant investment in the area to ensure that teachers become excellent in their fields. mm, Overcrowded classes, exhaustion, and teachers often work up to three different skills to supplement their excessive workload, and as a result, they remain unmotivated to specialize and without many goals in their professions. I often say that as long as we have abandoned dogs on the street, as well as harmless people, including children and the elderly, we will never be a first world country because most politicians are not interested in them. They just want the overpriced construction contracts and the $1 million privatization contract. What is a big fucking shame. So, in my opinion, these are some of the reasons why so many Brazilians, whether they have a degree or not, want to leave Brazil. And it is a pity because here, despite all the problems we have, we also have public health, such as the SUS, that is the public health system. What is not perfect, okay, but we know it is very expensive in some countries, such as the United States, for example. Okay, Um, Another point, unfortunately, are the problems with the safety of our citizens. The growth of organized crime and all kinds of crime. Therefore, it is not safe to walk on the street sometimes. Although I understand that this is also a problem in other countries, even more developed than Brazil. Okay. Well, guys, that's all for today. Leave your comments and tell me if you agree or not with my point of view. Bye bye.